Hello friends, today I have with me a small presentation on the moon. So let's get started. The moon is Earth's only natural satellite. At about one quarter the diameter of Earth, it is the largest natural satellite in the solar system relative to the size of its planet, the fifth largest satellite in the solar system overall, and is larger than any dwarf planet. Orbiting Earth at an average distance of 3,84,400 kilometers, or about 30 times Earth's diameter, its gravitational influence slightly lengthens Earth's day and is the main driver of Earth's tide. The Moon is classified as a planetary mass object and a differentiated rocky body, and lacks any significant atmosphere, hydrosphere, or magnetic field. Its surface gravity is about one-sixth of Earth's. Now, let's talk about the formation of Moon. The most widely accepted origin explanation posits that the Moon formed about 4.51 billion years ago, not long after Earth, out of the debris from a giant impact between the planet and a hypothesized Mars-sized body called Theia. It then receded to a wider orbit because of tidal interaction with the Earth. The near side of the Moon is marked by dark volcanic maria, which fills the spaces between bright ancient crustal highlands and prominent impact craters. Most of the large impact basins and mare surfaces were in place by the end of the Imbrian period, some 3 billion years ago. The lunar surface is relatively non-reflective, with the reflectance just slightly brighter than that of worn asphalt. However, because it has a large angular diameter, the full moon is the brightest celestial body in the night sky. The moon's apparent size is nearly the same as that of the sun, allowing it to cover the sun almost completely during a total solar eclipse. Now let's talk about the internal structure of the moon. The moon is a differentiated body in a hydrostatic equilibrium. It has a geochemically distinct crust, mantle, and core. The moon has a solid iron-rich inner core with a radius possibly as small as 240 kilometers and a fluid outer core primarily made of liquid iron with a radius of roughly 300 kilometers. Around the core is the partially molten boundary layer with a radius of about 500 kilometers. This structure is thought to have developed through the fractional crystallization of a global magma ocean shortly after the moon's formation 4.5 billion years ago. The moon is the second densest satellite in the solar system. However, the inner core of the moon is small, with a radius of about 350 kilometers or less, around 20% of the radius of the moon. Its composition is not well understood, but is probably metallic iron alloyed with a small amount of sulfur and nickel. Analysis of the moon's time variable rotation suggests that it is at least partly molten. Now let's talk about the magnetic field of the moon. The moon has an external magnetic field of generally less than 100,000 that of Earth. The moon does not currently have a global dipolar magnetic field and only has crustal magnetization, likely acquired early in its history when a dynamo was still operating. However, early in its history, 4 billion years ago, its magnetic field strength was likely close to that of Earth today. This early dynamo field apparently expired by about 1 billion years ago after the lunar core had completely crystallized. Theoretically, some of the remnant magnetization may originate from transient magnetic fields generated during large impacts through the expansion of plasma clouds. These clouds are generated during large impacts in an ambient magnetic field. This is supported by the location of the largest crustal magnetization situated near the antipodes of the giant impact basins. So now let's talk about the surface geology of Moon. Its most extensive topographic feature is the giant far side South Pole Aitken Basin, some 2,240 kilometers in diameter, the largest crater on the Moon and the second largest confirmed impact crater in the solar system. At 13 km deep, its floor is the lowest point on the surface of the Moon. The highest elevations of the Moon's surface are located directly to the northeast, which might have been thickened by the oblique formation impact of the South Pole Aitken Basin. The far side of the lunar surface is on average about 1.9 km higher than that of the near side. The discovery of fault-scarred cliffs suggests that the Moon has shrunk by about 90 meters within the past billion years. Mare Frigoris, a basin near the North Pole assumed to be geologically dead, has cracked and shifted. Since the Moon doesn't have tectonic plates, its tectonic activity is slow and cracks develop as it loses heat. Now let's talk about the volcanic features of the Moon. The dark and relatively featureless lunar plains clearly seen with the naked eye are called maria. As they were once believed to be filled with water, they are now known to be vast solidified pools of ancient basaltic lava. Although similar to terrestrial basalts, lunar basalts have more iron and no minerals altered by water. The majority of these lava deposits erupted or flowed into the depressions associated with impact basins. Several geologic provinces containing shield volcanoes and volcanic domes are found within the near side maria. Now let's talk about the presence of water on Moon. Liquid water cannot persist on the lunar surface. When exposed to solar radiation, water quickly decomposes through a process known as photodissociation and is lost to space. However, since the 1960s, scientists have hypothesized that water ice may be deposited by impacting comets or possibly produced by the reaction of oxygen-rich lunar rocks and hydrogen from solar wind, leaving traces of water which could possibly persist in cold, permanently shadowed craters at either pole on the moon. Computer simulations suggest that up to 14,000 km square of the surface may be in permanent shadow. The presence of usable quantities of water on the moon is an important factor in rendering lunar habitation as a cost-effective plan. So now let's talk about some of the expeditions to moon. The physical exploration of the moon began when Luna 2, a space probe launched by the Soviet Union, made an impact on the surface of the moon on September 14, 1959. Prior to that, the only available means of exploration had been observation from Earth. NASA's Apollo program was the only program to successfully land humans on the moon, which it did 6 times. The first landing took place in 1969 when 2 Apollo 11 astronauts placed scientific instruments and returned lunar samples to Earth. The first unmanned landing on the far side of the moon was made by the Chinese spacecraft Chang'e 4 in early 2019, which successfully deployed the Yutu-2 lunar rover. Lastly, we have Indian expeditions to moon. India's National Space Agency, Indian Space Research Organisation (ISRO), launched Chandrayaan-1, an uncrewed lunar orbiter, on October 22, 2008. The lunar probe was originally intended to orbit the moon for 2 years, with scientific objectives to prepare a 3-dimensional atlas of the near and far side of the moon and to conduct a chemical and mineralogical mapping of the lunar surface. The orbiter released the Moon Impact Probe, which impacted the moon at 15:04 on November 14, 2008, making India the 4th country to reach the lunar surface. Among Chandrayaan's many achievements was the discovery of the widespread presence of water molecules in the lunar soil. This mission was followed up by Chandrayaan-2, which launched on 22 July 2019 and entered lunar orbit on 20 August 2019. Chandrayaan-2 also carried India's first lander and rover, but these crash-landed. Thanks for watching.